bit down the road before we see any changes in dispatch. And I think it would be imperative. It's a good piece of technology to have, and it could absolutely go to saving a life. One of the things that this will do is it has different masks depending on what the problem that the caller or the concern that the caller has. And in the event of like a medical emergency, it actually walks you through step-by-step directions in order to give the person that's calling. So there could absolutely have a life-saving aspect. Emergency medical dispatch is basically a system. But this CAD says right now we're using pretty much it's still valid, but it's an antiquated flip card system. So when the dispatcher gets a call, they go through to the concern and kind of go from there. So
they punch in what type of call they get and it comes up on the
yeah,
computer screen.
and start giving them directions
Okay.
in order to help give directions to the people or to like whether it's CPR or choking or other. And it also goes a little bit farther than just EMD. It goes into some of the other calls. It's pretty customizable and it's much more user friendly.
Gives the dispatcher directions?
Yes.
Okay.
And like I say, I would like to go forward on it just for the fact that everything else is a little bit up in the air. I think the only thing that I was looking for and speaking with the sheriff, it kind of said that they were going to go ahead and get it. But I wanted to get some sort of an assurance that if we do go forward with some sort of a combined dispatch center or however it shapes up, and then the question is if, but we'd be given some consideration for that, $36,000 that we have spent for this system as well, our contribution to it. But it's been split three ways. 92,000 and some change, and then there's a maintenance agreement on it too, so it's right at $36,000.
Does the bid include the equipment and installation and training and all of that and a warrant? Is there a warranty on it, Mike?
I have a copy of the actual agreement, and yes, there is some warranty. I can't tell you how long it goes out, but there's a maintenance agreement that goes out with it too. Most of it is programming based.
And this would work kind of in conjunction if we do decide to combine forces, and it would be compatible with the system they're using.
Like I say, I was looking for some sort of an assurance, I guess, from the sheriff that if we do go forward, that we'd be given consideration for the money that we added into the system or our contribution to it.
Any additional questions?
You know what delivery is? How soon we could get it?
They're wanting to kick off the project itself, and my understanding was about 60 days.
And this expenses, we had 40 put
We
aside
had
for this.
40,000 budgeted, yes.
And the total cost is what? How much?
Well, I don't have an actual total. It was a little-
37.
it was a little over $36,000.
Okay.
And again, I
So-
apologize, it's on the computer.
If we do go with a centralized dispatch, which is got a lot of steps and work ahead of us. They'll have one and we'll have one.
Well,
We won't use ours. Is that correct?
it's not a separate system. We're all going in on one. But there would be a terminal here that we wouldn't be using at that point. But there's also, we would always have that here going forward. So we'd have it at our disposal for a certain amount of time anyway.
Okay.
Where's the other one going?
Carbon
Rollins.
County Sheriff's Office and the Rollins Police Department. It's done three ways.
The three ways, yeah.
Yes,
That's the only three that will have this?
in Carbon, it's the three dispatch centers.
Okay.
So is the whole price, the 26 or whatever it
The
is?
whole price is the 92,000.
Okay.
And like I say, there's a maintenance agreement on it that brought our share to 36.
Okay.
So we're paying for it, but we're only paying our part of it.
A third of it, yes.
Yes.
Any additional questions?
No.
I'd make a motion to go ahead with it.
Do I have a second? We have a motion on the table.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
The hard price too, Jim.
Yeah, would
We may
you,
have a copy of that actually in the prior.
Yeah.
would you email that out to Kathy and Mike and text Jerry with it? So we know the exact
The
amount.
exact price. I will.
Thank you.
The next item we have on our agenda is a hiring update. We were able to, Officer Casey Lear joins us tonight, so he can be sworn in tonight. Charles Mack Holt, actually, his first official day of working will be tomorrow, but he's actually going to be attending a class at the Wyoming Law Enforcement Academy. So we'll get him sworn in when he gets back, and his first day here will be Thursday. And I'll start working shifts. We do, as we've discussed before, we've got some training and things to do. I anticipated it'll be fairly limited because they both come to us with a fair amount of experience as well. So also on that front is we have advertised for dispatch positions. Again, not knowing exactly timeframes or what we're really, I mean, we've got a lot of work, as the mayor said, we've got a lot of work and a lot of information to both gather and put out before we make any decisions on dispatch. So we have gone ahead and advertised. I've got 6 applications for dispatch right now. We'll be setting those up for interviews here. I held the application dates open until the 12th of April. And then we'll go ahead and start our background checks and get folks in and do some interviews as well. And if any of you want to participate in that process, I would welcome the extra eyes and ears. So.
Just remember, there can only be 2 of us, or 2 people ask.
So, and with that, if you're ready, maybe we can get Casey.
Do we have an oath of office?
Yeah.
Right here.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
I state your name.
Casey Laird,
Of being hired as a police officer for the town of Saratoga
having been hired as a police officer for the town of Saratoga
in said county and state,
and said county and state,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the state,
Constitution of this state,
and that I will discharge my duties of my office with fidelity.
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
That I have not been paid or contributed
I have not paid or contributed
or promised to pay or contribute,
or promised to pay or contribute
either directly or indirectly, any money or other valuable thing,
either directly or indirectly any money or other valuable thing.
to procure my position,
Sorry.
except for necessary and proper expenses,
To procure my position except for necessary and proper expenses
expressly authorized by law.
expressly authorized by law.
That I have not knowingly violated any election law of the state
I have not knowingly violated any election law of this state
or procured it to be done by others on my behalf.
or procured it to be done by others in my behalf.
That I will not knowingly receive directly or indirectly
That I will not knowingly receive directly or indirectly
any money or valuable thing for the performance or non-performance
any money or other valuable thing for the performance or non-performance
of any act or duty pertaining to my office other than the compensation by law.
of any act or duty pertaining to my office other than the compensation allowed by law.
Congratulations, sir. Good to have you on board.
That's all I had for this evening. Anybody have any questions or?
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
We'll move on to the fire department. The only thing that I know of is the fire department did get their first draft of their budget to the town hall. We've looked at it and we'll discuss it more when we have our first meeting as a whole. But it looks really good. So that's the only thing I have to report on that. Recreation department.
Good evening, Mayor Davis and council members. This evening, I just wanted to make you aware of a grant that I applied for yesterday. The grant comes from the Wyoming Office of Outdoor Recreation. It was released on March 19th. The funding comes from the Wyoming Office of Tourism. Emery and I discussed putting together this grant in hopes of doing some work, mobile pool, some signage, some parking lot improvements, putting in a restroom, some tie-offs on the boat ramp. We kind of worked under really quick deadlines. It was due under 2 weeks, but we were able to put together a budget, get some letters of support, one of which is item number 16, page 35 on your in your packet from the Carbon County Visitors Council. So we submitted it up to about $500,000 is what we put in for. And it's a really quick turnaround. They hope to get money out so that work can start this summer and then be finished by next summer. So they had a chunk of money that they really needed to get out. And so we thought it was a good opportunity to get some work started down there. So most of the information is included in your packet with the budget and some letters of support, but certainly if you have any other questions, you could contact myself or Emery. It sounded like we were a really good candidate for it. I reached out to Carbon County Visitor Council as well as the Southwest Outdoor Council, and both of them, Southwest Wyoming Outdoor Council, and both of them said that this sounded like a really good project. So we went ahead and applied for it. So as soon as I find out, I'll let you know.
A little bit of history on this is Kathy sent it out to Emery. I'd also read about it, but anyway, we thought it would be a good thing. You know, it's not a matching grant, it's a grant that's given to us. We do show in kind of a lot of money. Mainly all work by the employees.
Yeah, sewer water tapping for the bathroom.
And it would be nice to have a public restroom over there when you get off the river. It really would, but that's one thing we're looking at. Some of the bank, you know how people will get out of the hot pool and go down to the river in that area. We're gonna clean that all up, put some boulders in there so people can, you know, make it more open where people can see what's down there. And that's some of the ideas. If we know we get the grant, then we'll bring it all back to the council for more ideas. And trying to direct it, we'll have to have a plan, we'll have to put the Corps of Engineers involved because we're being right on the edge of the bank and in the water, so. But some of it we can get done this year. I think it's an excellent opportunity to build on what Saratoga already has. Yes.
Are you looking at doing away with the part of the river that the people go down and sit in? Okay.
We're looking at developing that where it's more
Making it more
accommodating
accessible.
and easier to get to. Instead of walking over, you know, willows and.
Naked people.
Okay.
And it'll be observed. It'll open it up where we can see where, you know, because it's a family thing and when police officers make their rounds. they'll
Just
be able-
had to go there, didn't you?
Said it, not me, so.
But no, it would not be done away with. It'll be made more
Be
user
enhanced.
friendly. I guess would be the word.
Thank you.
Too red people. Anyways, thanks, Kim.
You're welcome. And that's all I have.
Nothing else? Everything's going okay? Pee Wee basketball? What's next?
We're looking at pool, hiring, lifeguards, training, cleaning, all of that. So that'll be next month.
The next big push, huh?
Next month, yeah, the next big push is pool. So we're hoping to open maybe Memorial Day or the following week. Think the lifeguard trainer from Rollins is gonna come over here and provide
Oh,
some
perfect.
training for our lifeguards either on Memorial Day weekend or the following weekend. I've had some requests to try to open a Memorial Day weekend so that week of school, kids could use it like as field trips.
Keep your fingers crossed. I
So
hope we
assuming
can.
we've got lifeguards lined up, maybe teachers and kids can use it for, the last week of school. It's kind of the big push. But yeah, she gave me some dates and when she can come over here and provide some training. So that's kind of what
Good.
we have in pencil anyway, assuming the weather cooperates and such. So yeah.
Well, on behalf of the mayor and the council, I'm sure they will agree. Thanks for all you do.
Welcome.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to Department of Public Works. We'll move on to Joint Powers Board and Plan Commission.
Okay, kicking off on item number 17. So in your packet was a bid tab for our River Street project. We opened that a couple weeks ago and we did end up with two bids for that project. As you can see there, one is significantly higher than the other one. So Rocky Mountain Sand and Gravel and Lewis, which is a Kilgore company, were the two that bid on it. Lewis and Lewis's was about 80% higher than Rocky Mountain Sand and Gravel. And running through the bid tabs, it was really only two items that really chucked them way far out ahead of Rocky Mountain Sand and Gravel, and that was their water management and mobilization. So we feel pretty good that even though the prices were so different, that we got the low bid is a good solid bid. We're not going to end up with something that was missed with a big change order down the road. So construction wise with the grant, if we award the alternate, which is a chip seal for this when we get all done, which I would recommend, we're going to be somewhere around like 1.2 for the whole project after the grant, which is exciting and gives us more money to do more projects on that special purpose tax that we have allotted for. So if you guys are okay with it, I would like to award the River Street bid to Rocky Mountain Sand and Gravel and get them that notice of award so they can start planning. I know everybody's looking at projects and bids right now. They're gonna want to know ASAP.
I'll make a motion.
Got a second to that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Awesome. Awesome.
Will you notify them tonight or first thing in the morning?
Yeah, I'll have you sign that notice of award and then we'll get a scan over to Craig and Craig can get it to him, but we'll do that. Yeah, we can do that real quick. Number 18, this OB consulting invoice is part of the TAP study for things they're working on. There's going to be a lot, the sum's not going to change, but we'll see the costs start chipping away pretty quickly because they're spending a lot of time on design and profiles and landscape renderings and et cetera, et cetera. So we could get this one approved and then Jen's been doing Jen and Craig have been working on the reimbursements from the state, which we've had to straighten a few things out, but it's going pretty well for the most part. And OB has been awesome to work with our reimbursements. If there's any receipt that we got a question about, kick it off, we get an answer right back, send it to the state. So appreciate them being so good to work with.
So they have an invoice in the amount of 22,000.
Yeah.
Change.
Yeah, I was gonna make a motion to pay
Sure.
this invoice for OV.
Do you have a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Emery, do you know do we have a date, a rough date? I know we've got a steering committee coming up next week, following week, next week. Do you know when they're gonna do the final public engagement?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
Oh, great, thank you, sorry.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
we're looking at that first week in May for that final TAP study. We were gonna do it earlier. Some things have come up. I think it'll actually work out better, but everyone will get a direct mailer again for that. And their mailbox be in the paper, Facebook, et cetera. Number 19, Engineering Associates. This is putting the bid package together and getting it out, and some other design costs and plan costs from EA for the road project, the bigger project.
Any questions? We have an invoice in the amount of $32,420. It's broke down in the back if anybody wants to look at it. And we award on that tomorrow?
We'll open.
Oh, we'll open it, excuse me. It's on the road project.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
For that.
So do I have a motion to pay this invoice in the amount of $32,420.18?
I'll make a motion to pay the invoice for Engineering Associates.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, so there's some quick updates. Like the mayor was saying, the road project, we're gonna open bids for that tomorrow. I mean, with road construction prices, it's gonna be hard saying what it comes in at. I mean, they're been quite all over the place the last few years. Hopefully that'll come in and real good in our favor and we can get quite a bit of work done. The Never Forget Park project is opening on Thursday, so we'll have that to look at as well. Put a couple of mosquito grants in, we do every year for the one through the state, one through the county, for a total of about 58,000 between the two of them. So hopefully we get those awarded, and that'll really help us with chemical costs when we're spraying, as they have gone up drastically in the last 2 years.
Would you say a gallon of,
So the adulticide's like $90 a gallon now, and the larvicide's about 40. And when you're doing aerial applications, neither go very far, so those grants will be very helpful. Concrete over at the pool is done. D&H did a great job. I think it looks slick.
It's great.
They were awesome to work with. We had a few things we had to adjust when we got in there, that ended up going all the way to the edge of the pool, because once we got the other chunks knocked out, it was pretty decrepit. So we were able to actually get a hold of the guy and come up here and looked at the pool. He pointed us towards some actual pool edge coping forms. Those worked great. Got a little info from Dennis from Octagon. I mean, everybody just came together, quick project, knocked out, turned out good. Like, everything could go that good. Like,
it does look fantastic.
Yeah.
You have a question, Mr. Emery?
Did we, I know there was talk about doing some funding for a slide. My children are really anxious to know, is there gonna be a water slide?
so looking at that, the problem is where we'd want to put it, there's be on one of the sides, and there's really not very much room right there to have a slide in there and still get people around it. The way the pool is oriented is kind of problematic. We can add one down the road. It's not a huge cost. I mean, they're not a huge. I feel like there's a really, really good spot to have one.
Yeah, I mean, we have photos of where we had one before.
Right.
And the issue was we had to run it. There was a problem with the piping that supplied, the water for the slide. So we literally had like a water hose that we would string across there and then hang up like fashion at the top of the slide for people to use. So we just need a water source. And I don't know that we can access that. So I don't know if we had a chance to look at that when they demoed that out, plumbing or someplace where we could just have a little stub up for water. Is it something we could just look at and see if there's a possibility?
No, because we still have the other parts of the deck that will be fixed in the
Yeah,
future.
yeah.
But
It was the water source mainly, I think, and the slide has to be the most basic slide there is, like no curves or twists or curls in that one. But it just went straight in on that west end. But we've got photos of where it was placed, where we took it out. There's probably a little bolt sticking up.
there was a lot of stuff under and the
Yeah.
concrete that we
Yeah,
took out. There was a piece of angle iron holding a piece of the
Right.
pool.
yeah.
It was aluminum. I mean, it was corrosion resistant.
Definitely interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Specs around the slide of distance.
We gotta send, basically, we would take what we would want and send it to the state, to Department of Ag, and they would say, yeah, we're good with that. Yeah, we're on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you put it in the deep end, your younger kids can't really use it. It's, you gotta be able to swim or have a life jacket. I mean, anything's possible. And I can get a few designs and we can price them out and look at them if that's,
Yeah.
I mean, are you guys in favor of adding a slide?
Depends on the cost and everything.
Yeah. We ordered one with with grant money 2 or 3 years ago and had to return it because of the water supply. That was the issue. So we had one that was comparable to the previous one. And we took it out. It had just cracked, but people really liked.
Was it into the deep end or?
Yeah. It was right on the corner. It was probably 12 feet in from the deep end, like on the deep end on the southwest corner. It's probably 12, 15 feet in from there and it just dropped right off into the
In the
deep. Mhm.
Deep end?
Yeah.
There was too. Yeah, there was a small.
There was a little,
I don't remember that.
Yeah, there was a little one on the north side. Yeah, and then.
There was?
In the corner, in the corner.
I should bring it up. Wow.
why did they take that one out? Do you remember why they took
I
that
don't
one?
remember ever seeing that.
I don't remember, but yeah, they were both. Yeah, they had both there, and then later those came down and the bigger curved one was at the west end.
Yeah.
But, yeah, but way years ago, Jerry would remember too, the.
Oh. We're talking like a long time ago.
Throw me on the
I-
spot.
I think that people would love, I think the community would really, really love it if we could work on it and see if we can get some money for it.
You got it.
I'll come to your office weekly to get updates.
Help me with smiles. No, I'll get some numbers and some figures. And give you something guys to look at and we can go from there.
Mhm. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, sir. Move on to water and sewer joint powers.
Yeah, I just want to say, we're looking for anybody, weed and pest employees, mosquito spraying and mowing and cutting
Yeah.
for summertime.
So we're open for applications on that?
Yes,
Okay.
Have we put a bid together for the maintenance?
yeah, so that's due next Tuesday, so I'll have bids for you guys to look at.
Have we had anybody send it?
Yeah, we've got 2 so far.
Oh, good.
And then floodplain map, probably looking at a letter of determination this month. It's like in the month of May, the ordinances that'll go along with the map adoption, I'll get those out so we can look at them. We'll have to, there's new things on the new map, so we'll have ordinance amendments that go along with the map. There'll be a few decisions you guys have to make on Freeboard and a couple other small things. And I got a few guys going to training, some road classes, asphalt maintenance, pavement maintenance, and then some pool equipment and chemical training. Water and Sewer Joint Powers Board, haven't had a meeting since our last meeting. As far as I know, our big thing is still gonna be moseying through the ordinances. Planning Commission. That's what I was gonna say is a TAP study. We're looking at first week in May. Everyone should get a mailer to their mailbox. We will put the date in the paper. Gotta, once I get the time out, I'll let everybody know when it's 100%, but it's gonna be that first week in May. And then we haven't had a meeting. We're gonna continue to piddle through Title 17, keep updating the language in there. And then I did talk to the attorney on the Brownfield topic that Jerry, a lot of concerns about the liability. And we got an email back from the state, from DEQ on that. That was pretty ambiguous as to what we would or would not be on the hook for. I sent it to Kylie and she really said, unfortunately, without knowing what is there, it would be hard to determine what the outcome is gonna be. Like, what the cost of it to us, what DEQ is gonna do. So she didn't have like you're gonna be in a really bad spot if you move forward and they find something. So unfortunately, it's a process. If we want to move through it, we can. If we don't have to. I mean, if you find something obviously and it's bad, we'd want to do what we could to get rid of it.
Mhm.
Or whether or not that would be a loan or whatever. I mean, if we found a bunch of contaminated soil, we're not, regardless of who's paying for it, I think we'd want to try and get rid of it. We wouldn't want to leave it there.
Can you remind us of that opportunity? Because there was grant opportunity or it was free
Yeah, so we would.
to come and do the assessment?
Yes, so it's a Brownsfield like site assessment before they even get into a project. So they would come look at this property over there and give details on what their findings and recommendations, if they do find anything on, hey, how to remedy it, and then the economic impact of what it could mean if we did something with it, so on and so forth.
We would have to do that type of assessment anyway if we decided to do something with that plot, right? I mean, you'd have to come and have it assessed to see how to mitigate any issues or be compliant with containment and.
I mean, as you tear it down, you're gonna have to put proper materials where they're supposed to go, depending on what you run into. You can probably do that as you go for the most part. Obviously, if you run into something real weird, it might be a lot harder to get rid of, depending on where you gotta take it. I mean, we're not talking about a place that used to build, nuclear reactors or something like that.
But asbestos and lead,
Yeah, we've been dealing with that for
yeah.
dozens and dozens of years. So that's, if be dealing with the tanks in the ground would probably be the biggest challenge. Thoughts?
I can add to that too a little bit, that when Carbon County was a target county for this grant for DEQ. And so I don't know if that would make funding less available in the future or more available in the future. I don't know if that would affect it at all. But with that also comes a lot of other tools at our disposal, like visualization of what we would want to do with that site. Like they have consultants hired through this grant to assess the site, but then help the community. They can do like fiscal analyses, like if we made it a retail space, how would that benefit the community? Or if we sold it, how would that benefit the community? Or do we just want to do a community engagement meeting and have the community dream up what possibilities for what this space could be? So there are some other tools that come with this grant and getting the help from DEQ that I think we would then have to pay for separately if we were to just kind of do it on our own. If we were to just tear it down and say, okay, what do we want to do with it? I mean, the town could just decide what they want to do with it, but it feels like there's some nice future thinking tools that were involved in this process to help make that space more utilized for the community.
And it's not due till, we don't have to apply till like later this fall.
Mhm.
So it's not like one thing I would want to do before we dove into that is like, we have vital storage and facilities over here that we use. The street shops over there, the water buildings over there. We ourselves would want to look into what does it look like for us if we leave that space? Where do we go? How much does it cost? Because if that is so far out of our reach or something we're not willing to do, or we don't have an option, then we're kind of stuck here for the time being anyway. And so we could probably get a
Mhm.
rough idea later this summer of what that would look like from my two departments down there.
Is it something maybe planning and zoning can discuss with that board and bring a summary later and a suggestion or a recommendation on how to pursue?
I think most of what we've got to
Okay.
decide would
You all
come
vetted everything.
before the council to see. Emery needs to put some together what it costs us, say, to move up here on the hill
Right.
on our land, what it's gonna cost for a shop. A big shop, an awful space for the guys. Stuff like that. That would weigh heavy on my decision,
Yeah.
because we may be stuck right where we're at. I mean, I would like to do something with it. But can we afford to do something with it?
Right, and that's, I just wanted to give you guys an update that I had that conversation with Kylie, because it's been a while since we brought it up. I wasn't expecting any decisions today. I just want to give you an update. And then before we make a decision, to me, that's would be a pertinent piece of information is what's our exit strategy for us if we do start.
You know, and that's where, to me, that's where if we made a decision like to take it down, that's when the planning commission would come in with their ideas on what, you know, and some of the analysis that DEQ could make on what we're gonna do there. Are we gonna sell it? Maybe they have a better idea to do something with, you know, who
They
knows?
also have resources to help us find grant money
Mhm.
to do things
Correct.
like
Mhm.
move the utility.
Yeah, relocate the equipment and all that.
Yeah, that's a
It
big
seems like
if.
a free-
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't foresee totally relocating those facilities coming out of that.
Yeah.
I would want to make sure we had a plan in place. So should something come up that it's time to move or we need to move, we know what that out looks like and how much it's gonna cost.
Well, before we move, everything would have to be constructed up there.
That's what I mean. It's a long, it's a
Yeah.
long process. And if we're not willing to do that down the road, I mean, there's no sense in, well, let's get started knowing we're only gonna put raise 2 laps around the track.
Correct.
Anyway, that's,
Yeah.
short.
Thanks for the update.
Yeah, I'm done unless you guys have questions.
Any questions for Emery? Thank you, sir. Okay, we'll move on to the Community Center Joint Power Board.
Don't have anything new to report. Our next meeting is April 8th at 4:30 at Community Center.
Okay, the Recreation Commission.
We met last night. We welcomed our new rec commission members, the 3 folks, the letters that we read and appointed last meeting. Is that the last meeting? And discussed sort of an outline of how things go and how we usually have our meetings and got them connected with where we store all of our documentation. So we're going to take some time for folks to read through some of our current bylaws and terms of office. And then when we meet again in May, we'll compile all that information and make a recommendation to the council on any changes that we'd like to see or any other thing that we'd like to bring up. And we're putting together a little survey to gather some information from the folks who participated in the basketball for the youth basketball. And we'd like to have surveys, like an exit survey for any of the big events that we plan so that people can provide us some feedback. So had really good energy and great folks join our group. So it was a nice meeting and accomplished a lot of good conversation. Our next meeting for Rec Commission is May 6th at 6 o'clock here. That's it.
Okay, thank you. On the Saratoga Advisory Board. There may be some rumors flying. Emery and I have been looking at potential ways to get sewer up there. Nothing has been put on plans, nothing definite. We've got a few costs. But you may hear rumors, and that's all you're gonna hear is rumors. Before anything's done, it'll be brought back to you guys before we present it to the airport board. So I just want to clarify that. That's all I have on the airport board. Their next meeting is April 8th at 3:30 PM here at the town hall. And I have nothing from the Saratoga Emergency Medical Services. Okay, is there any new business to be brought before the town? Okay, seeing none. I would entertain a motion to go into executive session for a little bit to discuss personnel matters and litigation in accordance of Wyoming statute 16-4, that's 405.
I'd make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Call the meeting back to order.
Yes, yes.
I don't think so, but do I have a motion to call the meeting, the regular council meeting back to order?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Very well.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. With no further business, do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh.
Yeah, this time.